Hi, Happy New Year 2024. My name is Yohei Kiguchi, CEO of NHS. Thank you for listening to my presentation. I quickly talk about the capital and career committed mega venture incentive scheme, which we introduced today. So this is the executive summary. Let me just quickly skip it. Then the background, the reason why we're doing this. So this is technically a stock-based compensation scheme, which is a very common practice for the US listed company. So I'm sure people listening this presentation are familiar with it. But actually in Japan, the post-IPO companies like us, stock-based incentive scheme is actually rare. Only 14% of company are doing the stock-based compensation scheme for the listed company in Japan. And we do as well, but not as a level as the Nasdaq listed companies. So we look at some numbers in the US. We look at some numbers in the US listed companies. 67% of the company has introduced the stock-based incentive scheme, and which obviously drive the further growth of the company after IPO. So basically, we have examined all the practice, the best practice of the US listed companies, and we try to replicate a similar thing for us. The reason why I'm saying similar is actually slightly different from the normal stock-based compensation scheme. Why different? How different? Is actually we require a capital commitment from ourselves. The reason why actually we designed that way is I personally believe our own capital commitment is actually important. Let's say when I found the company 10 years ago, I put my money in, of course. So that's that's entrepreneurial mentality, motivations. Like we need to put our own money. Otherwise, hey, we just given all compensation, stock compensation, cash-based compensation given by the company. That's not entrepreneurial. I personally believe we need to take our own financial capital risk as well. So therefore, we require everybody to have some capital commitment into this scheme. As a result, 320 million JPY capital commitment are gathered from the executive management team. And actually, I personally matching up with the sum of all the other management teams. So I personally put another 320 million JPY into this company. So, which is technically a huge capital commitment individually to a public company. And then also, we have the exercisable condition. We have very high target of the exercisable conditions, which is expected to reach and to fulfilled maybe within 5 to 10 years time. So basically, and we need to go through that. Otherwise, stock option will be vanished. Therefore, we require the high capital commitment and medium-term career commitment. And if we manage to fulfill the exercisable conditions after that, we might be able to get a 10 times return. So please understand, we set a really high bar to achieve it. Let me just talk about what's our exercisable conditions. So as of today, our current number over the 2023 was really bad year. We've been struggling financially. And then as of today, our midterm target is only 27. By 2027, we are planning to achieve 10 billion JPY sales target. And then this time, the exercisable condition is 13 billion JPY sales, 1 billion profit, and $100 billion JPY market cap. So which is all quite leaped from the current level. So we set a high bar, and then we need to achieve these exercisable conditions within 5 to 10 years. Or we try to achieve within 5 years, let's say. Then every employees, all the capital commitment, all the career be locked in there. If we leave the company, everything vanish. So we need to stay in the company to fight for it. So there are some financial implications for that. So the total 1.79 billion JPY will be will be recognized as a stock-based compensation expenses over the maybe 3 4 years. So which is roughly speaking like 3% to our sales. When we discussed about this scheme at the board meeting, we discussed what's the appropriate level of the cost we should be able to recognize it. And then when we're looking at the US based US listed companies, let's say 4% is average for US listed IT corporation. 11% is average for company below $200 million USD revenues. And then 20% is average for EV charging companies. So 3% is still much, even the below the average. So I believe like the 3% is actually very conservative, moderate number to start. We cited some of the voices from the team. So the firstly myself. So I feel like this is very, very crucial scheme for us to reach $100 billion market cap. You know, kind of like similar to like unicorn status. Like we have achieved like in a few weeks once back in 2021. So this is like myself as well, and alongside 47 management teams, we all fully committed financially and time-wise, career-wise, to enhance the shareholder values. So that makes my team, including myself, to head to the right same direction together. And actually, another important thing is actually like the shares is coming from other co-founder, Ipe Arita. He co-founded a company together with me like 10 years ago, and he been running a company as COO, like my number two guys over 10 years. And then he's kind of partially stepping down actually at the end of this year, and at the end of last year, and then becoming like more CTO, like no executive CTO roles, like more doing like tech thing, like new tech developments. So, and then half of his share will be transferred to the new executive team, including myself. So this is great. I think like this is very important. Like the co-founder, just holding a share all the time, it's not really encouraging other employees to work harder. Redistribute the shares to the new management team who are willing to take up the new responsibility to make the company to the next stage. So that's what like he agreed. The Mr. Arita agreed to redistribute his shares and then to the management team to make the company stronger. Obviously, like he has another large share, and he only sold half of his shares. So he has like he still remains as a major shareholder of the company. So his incentive is also still aligned with us. I actually have one-on-one with everyone who participating in this program. I'm actually happy to say every single executive management, has voluntarily joined this program. And they're all saying they are fully committed in financially and career-wise. Obviously, like financial capacity is very, vary depending on each personal financial background. But they're all saying that's what like they can actually do as much as that's the full level of the commitment they can do. And then they're all saying, thanks to this scheme, they won't consider any other job, let's say, changing options like the next 5 years. They're going to fully committed to deliver this result, which makes sense for them in financially and career-wise. And then even more important is this makes everybody feel like we are one team. Not only myself doing this scheme, like all the management, all other management, executive management team committed into this team means, we are one team heading into the one direction together. So these incentives, I personally really believe, makes my team stronger and solidifying towards the big target. Thank you for listening to the presentation. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you. Bye-bye.